The Nintendo Switch 2 is finally dropping tomorrow, when all the details will be revealed. Like, can you guys believe that we actually made our very first Switch 2 leaks rumors video all the way back in March of 2020? And the official reveal event is less than 24 hours away. However, there have been a number of last-minute leaks giving us an even better picture of what we may see tomorrow. So get that popcorn ready and let's start off with the hardware leaks. According to a trusted insider known as Secret Boy, the new Switch will feature a 120Hz LCD display. Yes, LCD, with support for HDR and VRR, or variable refresh rate. This would be a massive upgrade over the current Switch's 60Hz panel, effectively doubling the maximum frame rate for even smoother gameplay. A 120Hz VR display means that games that cannot consistently hit 60 FPS might still play without any stutters or tearing thanks to adaptive sync. However, compared to the Switch OLED, it will be a downgrade, as the leaker emphasized that the screen, like I said, will indeed be LCD, reportedly because an OLED with all of those high-end features would have been way too costly for Nintendo to produce and, to still sell the Switch at the target price points. By opting for LCD, Nintendo could pack in VRR supports and even basic HDR without breaking the bank, giving developers more flexibility to target frame rates like 40 FPS in handheld mode, while VRR then smoothens out the gameplay, similar to the Steam Deck. And even though I am sad not to see an OLED display, I am pretty sure that 2 years from now, there will be a Nintendo Switch OLED version at a much higher price point with all of those VRR and HDR features just on an OLED screen. Next up, we have the Joy-Cons. We've seen the Joy-Con redesign, and one mysterious new button in particular has been causing quite the stir lately. Dubbed the C button in the leaks, this extra button on the right Joy-Con was seen just as a blank spot during Nintendo's January teaser. However, Nintendo appears to have accidentally confirmed its existence in a recent promo image. The official Nintendo Today mobile app launched recently, and a photo of the Switch 2's right Joy-Con was also included that clearly showed a C label on that previously blank button. In other words, that leaked C button is real. This button had been rumored for months. In fact, third-party accessory makers even referenced it in their early designs. Now, we still don't know what the C stands for. Some would guess cast, for maybe casting the screen to your TV, or even chat, so that you could chat to your friends via a new social hub. Apparently, it could even stand for campus, which people have linked to the Wii U's Miiverse. Or, in my opinion, it could also just be a customizable button for some specific system settings. But yeah, let me know, what do you guys think? Moving on to games, apparently Nintendo will have a very strong content strategy for the Switch 2. According to a recent report, Nintendo will roll out the Switch 2's software in 3 different phases. In phase 1, which is the launch window, first-party titles will apparently be taking center stage, so Nintendo's own games will get priority right when this console releases. Then we've got phase 2, which will come a bit later, around October or November, according to this report, and that's when most third-party games would join the lineup, as many external studios are only just receiving the dev kits around the middle of this year. And then finally, phase 3 will hit during the 2025 holiday season, when both Nintendo and other publishers are expected to drop their big blockbuster titles for the Switch 2. And speaking of release dates, March is now over, which means that the final pack for Wallpapers has just dropped, with Skyscrapers by Atif, an awesome 8K pack with skyscrapers in different hues. And it's honestly been such an awesome month for Wallpapers. We've also dropped our Big 2.0 update, which introduced recommended and trending packs, as well as a brand new advanced search with the most popular tags. And we've also dropped some other stunning packs as well. Rings Ripple, for example, by Bold, looks absolutely stunning on desktops, and then Heavenly Hills looks awesome on tablets too. For your phone, Vista Ventures really makes your display pop, and if you want something super cute, well, we've got Cute Critters, where you can even get a little Shiba Inu wallpaper. There's even more to come, so make sure to download Wallpapers for free on iOS and Android by using the links below. Now, back to the Switch 2's 3-phase gaming release. This phased approach does sound quite plausible. Like, it lets Nintendo lead with their system seller games at launch, and then ensures a steady rollout of new releases later in the year. Kind of like how the original Switch had Zelda at launch, then a fall lineup, and then the holiday hits. Now, some analysts are a bit skeptical that third parties would actually wait until fall to support the Switch 2, as major partners do likely have the dev kits already. It's mostly the smaller ones that need to wait until mid of the year. But the main idea here is that 2025 is going to be packed with games for the Switch 2, whether at launch or simply staggered throughout a year. But okay, what specific games can we actually expect here? Well, there have been a lot of recent leaks on this front. One well-known insider, Spanish YouTuber Xtus1S, has claimed that Elden Ring is in the works for the Switch 2. Yes, you heard that right. The 2022 Game of the Year contender, known for literally pushing hardware to its limits, might actually be a launch title on the Switch 2. Xtus1S didn't reveal his sources, but he does have a decent track record, and even suggested that the Switch 2's beefier NVIDIA chipset, the rumored Tegra T239, should be capable of running Elden Ring with solid performance, which I do think could be true, especially when we take DLSS into account, which this chip is set to support. Which would mean that the Switch 2 would launch with one of the greatest action RPGs of all time, instantly showing off its incredible boosted performance. But that's not all. Xtus1 has also mentioned that Tekken 8 and also the new Dragon Ball Sparking Zero will get Switch 2 versions as well. Tekken 8 would be huge, as that's a very graphically intensive fighter game, which is also running on Unreal Engine 5. So this would further demonstrate the new console's performance, and then Dragon Ball Sparking Zero would just be awesome for fans of the series. Now, these are still unconfirmed, but the fact that they're being talked about by reliable leakers does make them credible possibilities for tomorrow's announcement. So yeah, Nintendo could be lining up a surprisingly strong third-party lineup, which would then complement their first-party titles. Speaking of third parties, there's also significant evidence that Microsoft is going to be a major supporter of the Switch 2. In fact, a recent IGN piece highlighted that a number of Xbox games are set to be coming to the Switch 2, including, guess which one, Microsoft Flight Sim 2024 and Halo, the Master Chief Collection. Yes, Halo on a Nintendo system. This information, by the way, was also backed up by veteran Microsoft insider Jez Corden at Windows Central, who said that Microsoft is eager to get its games onto the Switch 2 if the hardware can handle them. Flight Sim 2024 is a super demanding title that would really push a portable device to its limits, so the fact that it's being set to be included definitely speaks volumes for the Switch 2's potential performance. Microsoft CEO of gaming Phil Spencer has even teased how excited he is for the Switch 2, essentially winking at this collaboration in a recent podcast interview. And there have also been some rumors floating around that Nintendo may be significantly expanding their retro library available via the Nintendo Switch Online service as well. In fact, some recent credible leaks suggest that GameCube games will be finally coming to the Switch Online on the Switch 2 specifically. An FCC filing even surfaced for a new Nintendo Switch wireless controller that fans quickly identified as a GameCube-style gamepad. Now, Nintendo does have this pattern of releasing retro controllers alongside those console libraries to the Nintendo Switch Online, like NES, SNES, and 64, and so on. So this discovery does add more credibility to the GameCube classics joining Nintendo's catalog. Okay, now beyond specific game titles, another big software reveal has been the new virtual game card system. Essentially, Nintendo confirmed this via their website, which essentially allows you to convert your digital game purchases into sort of like a virtual cartridge that can be transferred to another system or even temporarily lent to a family member's console. However, what's really interesting here is that in the footnotes, they specifically mentioned Nintendo Switch 2 exclusive games and Nintendo Switch 2 Edition games. The wording was, Nintendo Switch 2 exclusive games and Nintendo Switch 2 Edition games can only be loaded on a Nintendo Switch 2 system, implying that a new console can indeed run older Switch titles as well, which would mean either enhanced games or simply the native versions of those games just on the newer hardware. In other words, beyond just running your old games in backwards compatibility mode, Nintendo is also likely to offer some upgraded re-releases or just patches of certain games to take full advantage of the Switch 2's extra performance. PlayStation and Xbox have already done that before, and it sounds like Nintendo will have a similar approach. For example, we may see titles like The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild or Mario Kart 8 get a special Switch 2 version with the high resolution and a higher frame rate. If you guys remember that Zelda Breath of the Wild 4K tech demo on the Switch 2 from a while ago. And finally, let's talk about the release date. According to multiple leaks, pre-orders may open very soon after the reveal event tomorrow. Best Buy Canada, for example, briefly published and then quickly pulled a blog post claiming that a Switch 2 pre-orders would start on April the 2nd itself, so same day as the big Nintendo Switch Direct. And if that's accurate, it means that as soon as the announcement is over, some retailers will immediately begin taking orders. Nintendo did do something similar with the original Switch when pre-orders went live the day it was unveiled in January 2017, so this leak is quite plausible. But then Insider Gaming's Tom Henderson, which has been super accurate in the past, reported that the Switch 2's pre-orders would only start on April the 9th, according to another US retailer. In that report, that retailer also indicated a potential release date in June of 2025. If I had to guess, I would lean towards April the 9th, as this would simply just give people more time to pre-order, but then again, it would be really cool to just be able to do that straight after the event. Anyway, we will find everything out tomorrow, so do subscribe to the channel for more coverage on the Switch 2 as soon as the unveil happens tomorrow. I'm Daniel, ZONEofTECH, and I will see you guys in the next one. ZONEofTECH signing out. Cheers.